Good afternoon, Bree.
Hi, Margot.
You know, I have been so stirred up over the election. I know everyone is. I've been so
Yeah.
stirred up over the pro-life justice, which we are so thankful to God for.
Oh, love her.
I know that not all Christians are required to feel the same way, think the same way. I know that we are as independent as God made us, but I have been so stirred up. But you asked me a question the other day,
Mhm.
and I've really been thinking about it. I don't think I gave you an answer, but the question you asked me was, would you have had an abortion if it had not been legal? And it's a
Mhm.
really good question for this day because abortion is legal and it may always be legal to the degree it is now or to a lesser degree, or who knows, there may be a time coming when it is not legal anymore. We have to wait and see, pray, watch, and wait. But what would be your answer to that question, Bree? Would you have had an abortion when you did if it had not been legal?
I know I wouldn't have because I'm too afraid. I'm too much of a scaredy cat.
Yeah,
So if it wasn't legal, I would be too afraid that I would die under the procedure.
right.
Um, and I don't want that to come across that I'm blaming that it was legal that I did
Right.
it. I still take full responsibility
I understand.
and regret my choice, but I definitely would not have done
So
it.
would you say that probably fewer women, because there would be more like yourself, fewer would have had abortions that did have them after Roe v. Wade? Fewer would have
I
had them
think
if it had not
so.
been legal.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it's a safe assumption too.
Yeah.
Now, I
I
will
think.
say for myself,
Mhm.
I honestly think I was so rebellious and so afraid of
Mhm.
confessing my sin of premarital sex and being pregnant, the condition of being pregnant. I think I would have been still so afraid and so rebellious that I have to say I just might have found a way to do it regardless of
Yeah.
whether or not it was legal. So
Yeah.
I think then what I can gather from this very brief conversation is that there are women who feel both ways, and no doubt women in our shoes who did have an abortion before 1973, before it was legal, before the Supreme Court said that a woman has the right. It's not a law of the land, but it does say that the woman has a woman has the right. Um, and so I think there are those of us who feel or have felt one way and then or the other, or maybe one way then the other, who all land in the same
Yeah.
boat of regret.
Yes.
So I think for us in a brief conversation here, the end game would be that no matter under what conditions you did do it, or under what conditions you would have or would not have done it, God's grace is still there for
Yeah.
all of us
Yeah.
of every description. His grace is still there.
Mhm.
I was reading an article not long ago by Billy Graham, and if I can find it right quick, I love this. And this is on billygraham.org. If anybody needs to go to it, go and read the whole thing because the name of the article is Biblical Encouragement for Women Healing from Abortion. And what do we need more than anything? More than anything we can say is that biblical encouragement. And the 4 points that Billy Graham makes is God forgives your sin and the guilt of your sin. The
Mhm.
second point he makes is that God can use this painful experience to bring about good. And I noticed in this one, he uses that Romans 8:28 passage. And I'm just off the top of my head remembering that that is the one where he says, where the scripture tells us that God works all things together for the good of those who love him. So he can use your experience to bring about good. The hole in your heart will heal.
Yeah.
And he has scripture for that. And then God's loving grace is abundant for you too. You friends, you who are struggling, God's grace is abundant for you. Bree, up in that first part, he points to Psalm 32:5. I'm
Yes,
not
I need my glasses.
okay. I'm
So
not getting on it.
yeah, Psalm 32. Yes, Psalm 32 verse 5 says, "Then I acknowledged my sin to you and did not cover up my iniquity. I said, I will confess my transgressions to the Lord, and you forgave the guilt of my sin." I love that because I experienced it. I was just, my whole life was so heavy laden with such intense guilt and shame, and it's gone. The regret's not gone.
Right.
I don't
I
think the
understand.
regret will ever go, and I hope it doesn't, but the guilt
Right.
and the shame is gone. And the only way it's gone is from God's healing, from his grace. That's the only way.
I understand, sister. Same
Yeah.
here. I swept mine under the carpet for decades and
Yeah.
then had the meltdown, but God's grace was so powerful and came over me in such a cleansing way. So, well, we're going to be talking more about all of this in the days to come, but
A link to Billy Graham's article on our website for everybody to see.
that's a great idea. Yes, and our website is www.friendswithmargotandbree.org. Remember, we just want to be your friend. We just want to encourage you. We need nothing from you. We don't need any money. We don't
Nope.
need anything. We are just offering you friendship and encouragement. We love you.
We love you. Bye.
Bye.